What's up, YouTube?
Hey, family.
We back, and this one is gonna be a little bit more serious. I ain't gonna have to get Vanessa in this episode or nothing like that. But I did tell y'all some videos ago that I was gonna do a video on Dr. Africana. This lady, man, I just hope everybody really listen and pay attention to this lady, and because to me, as a melanated person, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I think Vanessa says she feels some of this too. But I'm gonna just explain. When I hear this lady talk and the stuff she say, it makes it makes the hair, it makes my skin feel like something. I mean, it's a different. This lady is so strong.
Yes.
And you know, they got a saying that says real recognizes real. And like y'all heard me say, I feel like I'm the realest dude I know. And this woman is so authentic and real and got so much courage as a woman to stand and say the things that she say, because let's don't forget that we in Africa and she's in Africa, but she spent time in the US. Don't get it twisted. But she's in Africa now. And we know how they just like to reach out and touch people. These colonizer leaders or however, we know her. And for her to be able to stand and speak the way she speak with the boldness that she speak, man, to listen to her as a black melanated person, you gotta get something from this lady.
Yes.
If you don't get nothing, then it's either something wrong with your mind, or you still just so colonized that you just can't see. You probably gonna be one of those that'll never get it.
Nope.
You will go down with America. You'll become a casualty because you would never understand. You would never get what she's trying to say, and what I be trying to say. Vanessa trying to say what we be trying to say. We gotta quit walking around with our eyes wide shut, like we just sleepwalking. These folks over here is doing some stuff. They bringing in, they lining up their team over here, putting in work. I seen where they just had the Democrats locked out of them. They can't even go inside of the building. Department of Education. They locked out like some little bitty school kids. Man, these dudes over here doing some stuff in America. That's a whole. I ain't want to get off into today. That's another story for another day. This story is about. I want to get this. I told y'all she deserved her own show,
yes,
and I was gonna give it to her because she got more respect for me than a lot of men could have, because she is just that strong, and the love that she got for her people, man. I love to see a person that's got love for their people, because we living in a time where folks don't give up, and you know what I want to say. They don't give a doggone about nothing but they self. As long as it ain't happening in their house, then they could care less.
Yep.
And that's the reality. That's just real. That's just the truth. If it ain't happening in their house, they do not care. And then when something do happen, they don't even know how to take it because they can't deal with it. They liable to do anything, ain't no telling. But this lady, the way I feel when I listen to her talk, and I actually I can feel her. I understand what she's saying. It's deep for me. Now that's just me. Now I don't know. I'm gonna let Vanessa speak for herself. I gotta just only speak for Derek. So you can talk about Miss Africana right quick.
To me, she is, I feel, the strongest black woman that I came across in my lifetime. And one thing about her, she speaks facts.
Yeah.
She's awesome. Like I said, I love hearing her talk, and I love hearing her just, like Derek said, she love her black folks. She just love blacks. and she fight for us. It's like she fight for us harder than we fight for ourselves. And I don't understand, like I said, that mindset. We've been oppressed so long that we're in love with our oppressor.
Yeah.
But like I said, she speaks facts. And you can't help but to feel something when she go to speaking to you. I mean, I can't help it. Derek, he can't help it. You feel something when she speaks. It's like she touched your spirit. But like he says, we're going to have casualties. Some not even going to pay attention to it. Some not going to say, oh, unless it happens to your house. But other than that, like I said, I love hearing her speak. I can listen to her all day, every day. That's just how strong-minded she is. And when we said stand on 10 toes down, she stand 10 toes down on everything she do. And she stand behind everything that she said. But she is a wonderful and a loving woman. And I just pray that y'all just listen to her. Really listen to her. Take your fingers out your ears and listen to what she has to say. And that's all I got for you.
And go Google, get more. She got plenty. I didn't want to make this long. She got, man, she been doing this for a minute. This is just one or two videos that I could just, put into place. But she got, man, this woman is very, very, she been putting in this work for a very long time. I mean, anybody know me, know that, excuse my French, but as far as the oppressors go, I don't give a damn about no oppressor. That's just the bottom line. That's just how I walk, that's how I talk, and that's how I live. Anybody can tell you that. I could care less about an oppressor. I ain't never lived my life like that. I'm sorry. I didn't get caught up into it. I told y'all how I walk around. And that's just being real. And that's what we got to get to. We was being taught, and I fell for this. Now this what I will say that I fell for. Like I told y'all, when I went to church and got caught up, I took church serious. So I tried to change my image. I don't wear jewelry. I tried to dress a certain way, trying to please the church, trying to please the pastor, trying to please the deacon boy, trying to please all this. And they taught us this. If you get smacked, you turn the other cheek. Like she said, your treasure's in heaven. Man, look at here. The Most High didn't make us like that. I'm sorry. Whether you want to believe it or not, if you go back to the Torah and you take some time and you read the Torah, that's what the problem is. Won't nobody go back and read the Torah about the Most High because they don't know, they don't understand. They keep listening to all this stuff that the man say, that the pastor say. Clear your mind and go back and read the Torah and see what the Most High say, the way he made us. We the lions in this jungle. We are. Man, y'all better quit playing, cause I'm about to get. Hey, let me get off this thing, cause I'm finna go somewhere I don't need to go. But I'm just letting y'all know. Check this lady out, man. Please. Much respect. We out of here.
Shalom.
For black people around the world, the abuse is not just for Africans on the continent. The abuse is for black people wherever you find us. I'm going to share with you some basic facts. You see, our story is a simple one. Our story is of truth and facts, which are two constants that do not change. And all we need to do is give the world an overdose of our truth and insist on it. As we speak today, I'm going to take you back centuries. Long before the children of Africa were taken out of Africa as slaves. There was some serious resistance when the occupiers from the West came to Africa, contrary to what some might think. They didn't just give up their children, but the fighting began long before slavery. And the resistance was those who led them, the majority of them, their heads, as we speak today, are sitting in jars in Europe. Are you aware of that? Our leaders Our ancestors who fought the wars of resistance, their heads, their remains are sitting in jars throughout Europe. Some people have the audacity to come to Africa and talk to us about human rights. But what's even more disturbing is that we entertain them and we don't remind them of these skeletons in their closet. As we speak today, the priceless artifacts that they stole from all over Africa are sitting in their museums throughout Europe. And when you and I, when we visit Europe, we pay to see what belongs to us. Evidence of theft, evidence of murder in display, on display, in plain sight. As we speak today, black people are listed as 3/5 of a human being in the US Constitution. As we speak today, the redlining continues. As we speak today, African countries are being made to pay ridiculous interest rates on loans that they should not be paying for. Correct. As we speak today, reparations are due. Everybody else has been given reparations except us. The question then becomes, what is wrong with this picture? Why aren't you and I standing up and demanding that what is right must be done? I can tell you why. Because no other race would stand for a minute what is being done to us. How long do you think a finger of a British soldier lasts in Zimbabwe? How long do you think a thumb of a German soldier lasts in Namibia? Not even a minute. They would storm in, kill hundreds if not thousands of people just to recover that one finger. Why is it that we are unable to come together and speak our truth and demand that what needs to be done must be done? It's because they defeated us where it matters the most, which is the mind. It started with the missionaries in Africa long before slavery. They were sent by the Roman Catholic Church to subdue the Africans, make them believe that when you get slapped, turn the other cheek, and that your riches are in heaven. So by the time they followed with the colonizers to rape and rape Africa, we were already brainwashed. We were meant to believe everything African was bad and undesirable and everything European was better. And the same brainwashing continued as our children were taken out of Africa enslaved. It continued on the plantations, color gradations, light-skinned versus dark-skinned, field workers versus kitchen workers. To this day, we suffer from the legacy of slavery and the legacy of colonization. For how long are we going to continue to suffer from this affliction? For it is singularly the reason why we are not able to come together just like other races and nationalities have done in this melting pot that is the United States of America. for the voices of the Irish Americans loud and clear, Jewish Americans loud and clear, German Americans, Italian Americans, Chinese Americans, Indian Americans, their voices are loud and clear. But when you ask for the voices of us black people, you might as well go to the graveyard, because we are missing in action. We were taught, we were brainwashed into not even loving ourselves as individuals, let alone each other. We were taught not to trust one another. We were taught not to believe that my brother can, my sister can, but somebody else who doesn't look like you and I is better. The question I have for all of you, just close your eyes and think about your children, your grandchildren. Is this the world you want to leave behind for them? If the answer is no, then you need to have a serious conversation with the image in the mirror. Because it is the image in the mirror that must change. It is the image in the mirror that must understand that you are sick from this affliction of the legacy of slavery. You are not sick at home. You are not sick in the doctor's waiting room. You are not sick in the hospital ward. You are sick in the intensive care. How long are we going to continue to support other people's agendas? Those who stood up to fight during the civil rights movement, during the Pan-African days in Africa, civil rights in the United States, they were all silenced. We are emerging out of a period of 20 to 30 years where just nothing is going on. We are all fast asleep. When are we going to wake up? Reverend Al Sharpton is saying, the time to wake up is now. Reparations now. We know all the companies that benefited from slavery. We have their name. We have the list. They must pay. As we speak, many have pledged their contributions. Guess what's going to happen, my brothers and sisters? Because we are not organized, we will never realize those funds. And they will hide behind, oh, they are disorganized. They don't know what they are doing. I am now going to be asking Reverend Al Sharpton to lead us as we demand those reparations. We need to register a global Pan-African fund that can make sure that we have development in black communities where it belongs. Those funds must be organized. Those funds must be paid for. Reparations for black people now. No more shall we continue to be abused. No more shall they continue to exploit our Africa. What is in Africa is our birthright, and we are going home to take it. No more shall we be told Africa is a diseased and dying continent because they are going to Africa in droves and telling you to not go there. So this moment is calling for unity of purpose. And before I leave this platform, I'm going to ask all of you to take a moment. If you love your children, if you love your grandchildren and their future, to have a serious conversation with image in the mirror. No justice, no peace. No justice. I thank you.
Don't expect those who put us in a position of servitude to undo the damage. They will continue it for as long as we are stupid enough to continue to listen to their lies. Wake up, Africa. Wake up, black people around the world. Africa is your problem. Own it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. For Africa to change, for you to be able to benefit from what is yours. What's in Africa is the inheritance of every black person on earth.
Right.
But if you're stupid enough to listen to the lies, and while they continue to exploit your Africa, while they continue to amass wealth for their children, grandchildren, and generations to come, then the joke on you. Why are we saying that the richest continent on earth, the go-to place for the world, is painted as the poorest? And I am not going to mince my words. The truth of the matter is the world needs Africa. Africa does not need the world. We have everything we need on earth. We could paralyze the world economies. Take a simple thing. Like we decide the DRC can no longer export its coltan. That alone can paralyze the world. So rather than us Africans concentrating on the issues that matter, concentrating on issues that we need to take home, like telling France that 500 billion you're taking out of Africa every year, no more. France needs to be the third world developing country, not Africa. We were way ahead of them in our civilization. They set out to destroy us. And Berlin Conference put the nail on that coffin. So they gave Djibouti the same sovereignty as the United States. They gave Burundi the same sovereignty as China. They gave Togo. You see, the EU realizes individual little countries, they can survive on the world stage. So they come together as the European Union. Now picture this now. So they cut up this Africa into the tiny little countries, small economies that could never survive on their own, but gave them the same sovereignty as the big boys. So that way, when the little bitty countries go to the world stage for the purposes of development and discussing trade, they're wannabe boxers who are being thrown into the heavyweight boxing ring every day. IMF, World Bank, or other institutions, they make African countries jump through hoops. Loans will never be able to pay. The US, when they borrow money, they're getting it at 1.5, 1.9 interest rate. Africans, when they get the same amount of money, they're paying 9, 10%. The people who don't need a break, they get a break. The ones who need a break, they don't get a break. The sheer survival of the World Bank, IMF, is based on the fact that African countries and many other developing countries do not succeed. Their success is based on our failure. That has to change. And guess who can make that change? We, the children of Africa.
The most dangerous African of today is an African who is colonized, educated or not. What is our education doing to us? What have we done to undo the colonial education? I hear right here in Ghana, perfect example. There's not a single Kwame Nkrumah book that is required reading in the Ghanaian educational system. Whose problem is that? Most African countries, our educational system is still the colonial educational system. So what do you expect from the leaders that we have today if their education remains colonized? It is the educated who are refusing to challenge the status quo and speak on our behalf. Educate.